Okay, everybody, I have some great news for you. The next run is ready. Get ready to see Ace Combat Skies of Deception with Failracer, Falcon Luma. Failracer, take it away.
Hello everyone. So I think since the run is really short, but in the Speedromizer it turned out quite special. I think we can do a little bit of an introduction and an explanation of what happened in general. So yeah, honestly, I really got lucky with the game. It just allowed me to finally cave in to my addiction to flying car games, since I've been watching all the videos for a while, listening to OSTs, and this one is basically my gateway drug. This run became so special because I think it's special in terms of Speedromizer, since the game has been, the run has been heavily improved since the time it's been submitted. Last time, Falcon, unfortunately, your runner had to drop.
Yeah, real life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, it do be like that. Now, it was basically two runners for the Coastal One working on improving the game. So yeah, Ace Combat X since then has went, I think, almost a minute down.
Yeah, the progression that Failracer and his buddy have been doing on this game in the last month is absolutely insane, to be honest.
Yeah,
completely revitalized, because it's been stagnant for way too long. But yeah, they've really done good work here.
And with help from Dungeon Billy, yeah, that's the second runner, we solved, really solved some parts of the game. And as for the run, just a small introduction. Since it's New Game Plus, we're gonna be using all the most broken stuff and gonna be committing all the war crimes. You'll see what I mean later on. The two main planes are Falcon with TLS and Failracer with LSWM, and for a single mission LASM. If you don't know what those abbreviation means, we'll explain later on. And I think we can start. So when I select difficulty, so 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this first mission, we're taking down defenseless bombers, and we're using Falcon with TLS. TLS being a targeted laser system, which does this. It slices and dices. Okay. I think
the TLS is a very broken weapon. It essentially doesn't quite one-shot, but essentially repeatedly hits very quickly, so it one-shots most things most of the time.
Yeah, and once you get in 2000 meter range and lock onto a target, it's basically a guaranteed kill. Which target lock really made the first mission super consistent in that regard. Okay, now we demonstrate the power of the Failracer if I don't troll. Okay, so we...
So here we're using the LSWM, the long-range shockwave missile. Essentially a sort of mini nuke is the best way to think about it, with a very long range. We'll be doing a lot of these unguided shots, where we just aim to hit something near what we want to destroy, and we've blown up an airfield.
Yeah. And we intentionally de-targeted our LSWM, otherwise it would fly into one of the SAMs, AA guns. But we needed to fire a dumb LSWM into the airfield to get all the targets. Now this is a mission that completely changed recently, because there used to be a beautiful LSWM setup for it, but TLS and air-to-ship missions were made in heaven, the match made in heaven, really.
Yeah, with this, obviously different aircraft have different performance, and the Fenrir natively has the best performance. However, certain aircraft like the Falcon can be upgraded, and with upgrades the Falcon actually becomes the fastest aircraft. So while it's a bit more involved, this strat in some ways, as you can see, it's a long flight to our target, so the Falcon ends up winning overall. And yeah, we used to fire a LSWM across the entire map to hit this first wave, and then a second one to hit the second wave. Now it's just fly in and poke them with a laser.
It can be actually like 53 seconds, I think, if you're good with the targeting. I think LSWM strat tops out at like 55 seconds, high 55 seconds. And now the mission I used to really dislike initially, but it's grown on me. It's really fun to catch the targets that are almost out of your log. Okay, so yeah, time to explain the height to speed thing in this game.
Yeah, simply put, the higher you fly, the higher your top speed. It's pretty simple, but this means that when you're optimizing, like in this mission, essentially every foot or meter of altitude you have is a tiny bit more speed, and when you're having to do a circuit of the entire map, essentially, that adds up. So that is the crux of this mission. It's hit the things on the ground while maintaining as much height as possible. And somehow this strategy using the LASM, the anti-shipping missiles, has survived that whole process. It was originally developed for the new game run where we have very limited resources, but somehow it just survives to here. Even though we've got all these crazy super weapons, we're doing this. But it's a lot of fun, really. It's the only sort of classically done mission in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay. Unfortunate.
Now this is silly. Okay, I guess we get to demonstrate it again.
Yes.
The beautiful thing about this game, you can die after the mission accomplished prompt. You can die at any point. This is actually extremely silly in the next mission. The standoff in the sky too.
Yeah, so it hasn't been mentioned yet, but Ace Combat X is actually for a handheld game developed for the PlayStation Portable. It was the series' first venture onto the handheld. I would argue the best still. And yeah, so... And that's just sort of interesting.
We don't talk about Advance.
Oh. That's an interesting game, but yeah. Yeah. Coming back onto the end here.
Somehow I didn't switch to the LSM, so the tank didn't get one shot. Probably didn't register the input proper.
There's a lot of inputs going on here, because there's a lot going on.
This mission, Rolling Thunder, that we just went through, basically it teaches you how to use lock-on and switching from missiles to special weapons back and forth to your best advantage.
Yeah, with what I was saying about it being on the PlayStation Portable, that really limits your controls. You go from having a nice, handheld controller on the PlayStation 1 and 2 to now having a sort of really bad sort of circle stick. Really doesn't make flying and aiming that easy, so to compensate, they added essentially aim assist to both your gun and to the laser, make your unguided weapons a bit easier to use. So, as you can sort of see there, you don't have to aim perfectly at whatever has the flashing box around it, you just have to be close enough to register your hits.
Speaking of lock-on and TLS, and this specific mission, TLS is really silly since we're gonna annihilate Gleipnir's weapon system. Let me show you.
And of course, it wouldn't be Ace Combat if we didn't have a giant flying fortress thing. But yeah, a bit of a pushover in X, to be honest.
Yeah. And there's a different version of this mission, which is not in the route. And I've developed a pretty silly strategy involving LSWMs for that one. Pretty precise, but very fun to do. Speaking of LSWMs, another mission with such a setup is coming up, and I think we can talk about a little about the history of this game, since there was one specific runner before the revolution, and Blitz is one of the strats that you personally developed back then that doesn't follow... I don't remember their nickname.
Yeah. So yeah, hang on. Anyway, so this whole run was actually spawned off a run ages ago, like I want to say
8 years, I think.
8 years ago, 8 or 7 years ago, by a Japanese runner. Just I happened to find it on Bilibili, and whatever, one of those.
Nico, yeah,
get the mix up. Anyway,
the Japanese one.
Point. A lot of the run is either directly taken or refined versions of what they did. This is not. Here we spent ages coming up with this. Well, me and another runner, Cyclone, we came up with this strategy where we fire an LSWM so it hits this ridgeline here from the start of the map. And he did a pretty good shot here, not perfect. And like a perfect shot is within 0.1 of a degree.
Yeah, 960 is perfectly serviceable for the game.
960 is what you want in a run like this. It's only fractions of a second between them, really.
Yeah, I think it's like a second off of a perfect one, really.
Yes. Okay. This is a interesting one. This is one of the longest missions, except it's now one of the shortest. In
Just
this mission,
a little bit of TLS tomfoolery.
yeah. In this mission, you're supposed to fly around the entire map, do like 3/4 of a circle of the map to destroy power stations, to take down the defense system, which can shoot down any plane and any missile, yada yada yada. Except we're not using missiles, are we? We're using lasers. You can't shoot down a laser. So, yeah, we just fly straight in, use our long-range laser to destroy the radar jammers, which is our targets in this mission, and we save ourselves an RNG nightmare.
Yep. And even the LSWMs get despawned.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yep, nice
It's
and
like
easy.
low 35. Oh, speaking of war crimes, now in Nuka City.
Ah, yes. Spring. Let's hope this one goes well.
Yeah, so now, excuse me as I log the heck in.
Yeah, so normally the Fenrir has 2 LSWMs, but because Ace Combat X has branching missions, depending on what missions you do, certain effects affect later missions. In this case, because of missions we haven't done, we only have 1 LSWM for this mission, which adds a bit of complexity. And the city of Griswold, which we're supposed to be liberating, has this defensive laser gun ring thing, as you can see coming into view now, which just happens to be the perfect diameter to destroy them all with an LSWM, as you'll see. Yeah.
It locked onto the other one.
Yes. When I say the diameter is perfect, it is very close to being the maximum diameter of the LSWM. You essentially have to put it smack bang in the center of the city, or you're going to miss at least 1 cannon. And so you need to make sure you're not locked onto anything when you shoot it.
Yeah, it should be, the timing should be the phrase dodge this. Come on, okay.
Yeah, is it there?
No!
Oh.
It's weird. Maybe
I mean, you should just be able to go until you don't hit a lock tone anymore.
The lock... Just unlock on the close left one. And it was perfectly fine in practice too.
Yeah.
I guess marathon stuff.
Yeah. Good old marathon luck hitting you.
Yeah, just wrong timing. The timing when you're not locked is the phrase is "here he comes, dodge this." Okay, just gotta take a chill pill and aim. Here we go, finally.
Yes,
but that's the easy part.
Yes. So yeah, Atmos Ring is usually where your runs go to die, but not that way. This is the only mission where we actually have to deal with enemy aircraft in a dogfight and actually deal with their AI. So that always throws a bit of a wild card into everything. We do our best to manipulate them to play nicely, but as you can see, it doesn't always go well.
Yep. Easily 2 minutes on top of such an optimized run. Okay, 1.
It was only recently we actually got a dungeon. Was it? That was you,
yeah,
Fail, wasn't it?
dungeon.
That got a run without losing time in Atmos Ring.
It was myself, yes.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah. And yeah, like forever there was always some time lost in Atmos Ring, and it was only until like last week that we finally got a clean run through here in a...
I mean, there's always been ABC San.
Yeah. We aim to try and get them to engage us head-on, where they behave a bit nicer, but it's not perfect, as you can see, unfortunately.
I've already missed the setup by getting the wrong height out of the first dogfight, and the most unfortunate part is that they can get out of your radar visibility by going a little below you.
Yeah, 2 of the aircraft here are the YF-23s are stealth aircraft, so if they're essentially not in sort of your front cone, like if you essentially your field of vision, they don't show up on your radar, which makes finding them a bit difficult. And also, in the worst case scenario, they can aggro onto something else, like this guy that's just flying away at the moment. I'm actually not sure what it's trying to do, to be honest. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and here you can see exactly what Falcon meant by disappearing out of your cone of vision.
And then this YF-23 has aggroed onto our allies, which means he's going to behave really difficult to...
One more left. Okay, I think... Yeah, they both aggroed onto allies. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Still not the worst it could be.
Yeah, I mean... a marathon run, things go wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
328.
It's not like we don't have a massive cushion on this time.
Yeah, thank you for that, really.
Yeah, it's exactly these why you have to do big
and
estimates.
I think I'm still good on the estimate to try something. But we'll get to it. Okay, so this is the penultimate mission of the run, where we take onto Elk Squadron and we bring our silly laser system to it as well. Used to be a beautiful OSWM setup, still like it, would do it any day, but this is just much faster.
Yeah, so in this mission, our goal is to shoot down the A Squadron, Alex Squadron, but first to make them appear, because they have to be fashionably late, of course, you have to shoot down 4 other enemy aircraft, which are the 4 Gripens that you just saw burst into flames from a laser. And now, being such an elite squadron, they fly in formation in a straight line, and just let you sort of sweep across and hit them all with that nice laser. Absolute cream of the crop.
Beauty. It used to be one shot with a mini nuke. And there used to be silly AI manip for the first pair of Gripens. Okay, the actual hardest mission in the game, not, because we abuse it a little.
Yes, this is the hardest mission in the game if you're not using silly weapons. Or at least very close to it. Not the hardest, 7C exists, but this is probably a close second.
I think Oh, there's also the time limit. Yeah.
Yeah, so here we're going to be up against 4 Fenrirs. Of course, our superplane. Except, thankfully, they don't have mini nukes. They just have cloaking devices. So that's fun.
And balls of death.
Yes. But the thing is, we have a mini nuke, so their cloaking devices don't protect them from explosions, thankfully, so I'm going to do a loop here, fire a nice LSWM into the water, and wow, they're all gone.
Completely destroyed.
Right.
Looks like the Southern Cross was the real monster. Oh god, I remember so many lines of this game by heart.
Okay, seriously, the so corny, so much of the voice acting in this.
It's a shame that this version of the mission doesn't have flying inside of an internal structure so emblematic of Ace Combat, right?
Oh yeah. What would an Ace Combat run without being a tunnel? Except of course you could flip into the island. But yeah, in the other version of this mission, as I said, branching pathways, you fly through this internal structure to chase down a fifth Fenrir.
Oh, and time. So yeah, about that other version. There's a rogue Fenrir flying from the facility, and you need to catch it and fly through. And yeah, that was Ace Combat X, an absolute beauty of a run. Ever since I've gotten into it, I've been trying to get people into it myself. It's very easy to learn. It's very fun, short and sweet. I recommend everyone, at least remotely interested in flying card games, to give it a shot. Yeah, and thank you so much for helping me with this game. It was basically a godsend.
I'm glad to hear it. Like, it's been really cool seeing what you guys have been able to do with the run. Like, yeah.
Oh, and this game has an absolute banger of credits. Credits track.
Oh yes, the credits music.
By the time the images of the exploding
special.
fortress and Fenrir faded from the stadium screen,
it hits similarly to Fly Me to the Moon in Evangelion,
with the true motive
if you
behind
wish.
the war made.
Okay, so yeah, amazing game, amazing run. And I think that's about all. I don't know if I'm gonna try NG afterwards, but I'll try for a little bit to improve the NG Plus run, since there is room for improvement there.
Yeah, we still have around 30 seconds of improvement that is theoretically possible for the run based on idols.
like 15 seconds, I think.
Yeah, that's more reasonable, yeah.
Yeah. And I really hope you come back as well.
Oh yeah, I've been practicing.
Let's go, waiting for you in the strange reel. Meanwhile, I'ma go casually liberate Cascadia.
Yeah, okay. Have fun with that then.
Thank you. And I think that's about it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks so much to Speedromizer for accepting this run for essentially a third time, and finally we actually get to show it off.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
Here's to many more, hopefully.
The picture I'm using is actually the emblem of the squadron, the flight leader of which is the protagonist of the game. After all, we're Aurelian fighters, aren't we, Captain? I think that's the perfect way to cut it off now.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Failracer and Falcom Luma.